Hey, this is Danielle over at DIYDanielle.com, and today we're going to go over a real quick gift tutorial. It's one of my favorite projects. It's cloth wipe. You can also use it as cloth napkins, which I think is what I'm going to post it as because a lot of people don't use regular cloth wipes. But cloth wipes essentially are squares of fabric that people use and they wet and they use as an alternative to disposable wipes for their baby. But we use them for everything in our house. We use them for right beside our sink. The kids wash their hands and want to dry them, they can dry it real quick. Then they can wipe up the sink with it, and then they can put it in a wet bag, and we're good to go. We have a clean sink, we have dry hands, and we only wasted one little square of fabric. We also use them as napkins downstairs. Instead of using a paper napkin, which would cause, of course, extra garbage, we use little wipes. And again, they're real small squares, and they have different characters on them, so the kids really like them. And they can wipe their mouth with them. We can wipe the table with them. Whatever we want to do, they're right there. We put them like in the regular napkin holder. So they're really awesome. They're easy to make, especially if you have a serger. I'm going to show you two different methods for doing it. If you love cloth products, though, I want to make sure you go check over my book. I have a book called The Complete Guide to Using, Laundering, and Sewing Reusable Cloth. I have all sorts of tutorials on there. If you love cloth diapering, cloth menstrual pads, on paper towels, cloth wipes, cloth napkins, reusable gift bags, I have everything in that book. So I hope you'll go check it out and pick it up if this is something you're interested in. Let's talk about how to make them. They're super easy. You're going to need to start with some flannel and either a serger or a sewing machine, and you're done. So, alrighty, let's head over to the sewing table. Okay, so here we go. We're over the sewing table. This is a pretty simple project. I have a cut of flannel here, and, a cut of flannel. But what we're going to do is we're just going to cut it into the size squares that we want. A lot of times what I'll do is if I only have this much width, I might just make the width of my wipe to be this size. This is a little wide. This would actually be good for an unpaper towel instead of a cloth wipe, just because it is a little wider than I would go with for a wipe. But I don't know if I could squeeze two wipes into the width of this. Let's see. Woo, measuring. So if I was going to make a cloth napkin, a lot of times, just to make it easy, I would just go the width of my ruler here. This is mostly laziness, but the size works out pretty well. Again, I have a little bit extra left over, and I hate to do that. So I may make these a little bit wider. Let's see here. Let me use this because it's a little easier. So for, geez, this is going to be a lot wider. Yeah, no, I might just go the width. Let's make it easy on us here. Because we're going to do these as cloth napkins. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my rotary cutter. It makes it a little bit easier and faster to cut the fabric. I have this fabric, because I'm going to be serging it, I have the fabric wrong sides together, which means the right side's showing here, or right side's out. Just going to zip right along. And yeah, this is 2 layers, so I have it folded. This is the fold on this end, or on the nearest side to me. And as you can see, I've got my cuts here. I'm just going to go right across. Oh, this is really hard. I hate cutting stuff. It's not my favorite project. I'm just going to go right along, cut my squares. I'm going to show you how to do this with a serger first. You guys are going to want to go out and buy a serger after you see this. Because it is quite a bit easier to make these with a serger than with a sewing machine. But, so all you're really going to do is you're just going to zip around the whole square. Okay, done. Super easy. So to make these with the sewing machine, again, it's a fairly simple concept, but a lot of people would say to turn these right sides together, to sew around, leave a small opening, turn, iron, top stitch. That is really time consuming. I don't have time for that. Usually for some items it makes sense. For this particular item, I don't know. You really want a serger if you want to zip around and make a bunch of these. But if you want to just make a few and you want to use your sewing machine and don't want to invest in the serger yet, this is what you're going to do. You're going to face them right sides out, and again, you've got them folded together. So all I do is stitch all the way around with a straight stitch. Finish off your napkin. Once you're finished straight stitching around it, you're going to want to go over and do a zigzag stitch all the way around. This will help finish up some of the edges so that you don't find your fabric fraying. Again, this is not as good as using your serger, so I highly recommend a serger. They're not terribly expensive compared to something like an embroidery machine, and they really are helpful for finishing seams that might fray. So you just go all the way around and you zigzag. So let me show you the side with the black because it's a little easier to see. But see, as you can tell, I adjusted a little, but zigzag. There you go. But I do really like, I mean, just so you could see the difference. That is Serge, and look how much better that looks. Yeah, just get a serger. They're wonderful. But I'm going to go back and serge the rest of these, and then we're done. And that was such an easy gift idea, and I'm going to show you how I wrap them up, too. Hi. Okay, finished. Here we are. If I want to make them fancy, I can roll them up and put a little bow around them, like this. Isn't that lovely? I don't tie bows. I'm not good at this. Not in my skill set. But look, I tied one. It did the trick. So I could do the same thing with these. If I wanted to use them at home, I put them inside my napkin holder on the kitchen table. Works perfect. I should just get some napkin holders for the others of the house we use them to, because they're really a great way to hold them. But yes, that's it. That's it. Just give as many as you want. I mean, they're flannel. If you buy flannel when it's on sale at Joann's, I think twice a year it goes on sale for like $1.99 a yard, and I buy a ton of it, and then I run out. And I'm like, why didn't I buy more? So that's where I'm at now. I was like desperately hoping they'd have a sale before I did this video, but whatever. I had some flannel left over. Not much, but I had some. That's why you're only seeing a few of these. So, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed. These are, again, really great gifts. I've had good feedback. People use them for burp cloths. They use them just for napkins at the, napkins at the table. Whatever. So, I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you again tomorrow with a new project. And, yes, subscribe. Otherwise, you might forget, and you won't be here, and you'll miss something cool. Don't miss something cool. Subscribe channel and subscribe to my email newsletter. Either way, you're going to get a notification if I've got something new out. And after this, I still have lots of great content. After September, I'm going to have lots of posts. So keep an eye out. I have 30 days of this. I hope you enjoy them. Thanks. Take care, guys. Have a good one.